We are back with Ian. The game is Stacks on Stacks and Stacks from Ian and Elie Studios. Ian, what can you tell me about Stacks on Stacks on Stacks?
Stacks on Stacks on Stacks is a 3D tower builder inspired by the weird side of Japanese arcade games from the 90s. So we're talking games like Katamari Damacy is obviously a big influence, games like Mr. Mosquito, just the strange, bizarre side of like early 3D games. I
noticed that it does require a little bit of cooperation there if you're working with another friend, because you've got your single player, you've got your co-op. How are you forcing people to sort of work together? How do you design it like that?
Obviously with a game with like a lot of emergence and the possibility of like weird physicsy things happening, I think it's kind of okay when people mess each other up. Like that's sort of part of it. I mean, eventually they choose to cooperate and progress through the stages. But if you get particularly frustrated with the other person, there's always the split screen versus mode, where you're basically racing to make two separate towers.
Are you perhaps punishing the other person's tower by dropping some stuff on there?
Yes, so you can get, there's like a battle die that unlocks and like lightning comes down and breaks their things, or it like warps the screen and makes it really hard to tell what you're working with. So
I've seen the original mode where you're stacking things up to reach a certain height, but you're telling me there's actually a multitude of different variations for this game. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so because the basic gameplay is so simple, we wanted to make sure to have lots of variety and twists on the mechanics. So eventually you unlock stages where you might be building on a scale, where you have to think about the blocks in terms of mass. You reach a stage where seeds plant in the ground and weeds grow up, and it's kind of like whack-a-mole, and you have to use the bricks to lower those weeds before they grow too tall. There's also a stage where it's inverted and you have to actually stay low, so you're having to like pack in the bricks and keep them from getting too tall. So
do you have maybe a release date set up for Stacks on Stacks on Stacks?
We're shooting for late this year, but we're not locked in yet. We're still trying to figure out.
And that's going to be coming to the PlayStation 4, right?
PS4 and Steam. This is our first time developing a console. It's really exciting. That whole process has been awesome working with Sony. So
some new challenges perhaps, or has it for the most part been fairly painless?
It's been smooth sailing. Like obviously there's like things to learn, but relatively, you know, the process has been pretty great.
The game is Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, and maybe we'll take a look at it later this year. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Colin.
Always the ending's the most awkward part.
Yeah.